Miami Hurricanes get positive injury news this week heading into the matchup with Florida. The Gators, meanwhile, not so much.
You are Locked On Canes, your daily podcast on the Miami Hurricanes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I am Alex Donno, University of Miami alumnus, co-host of Locked On ACC and host of Postgame on the Hurricanes Radio Network. And thank you so much to the everydayers for making Locked On Canes your first listen. We're available free wherever you get your podcasts. We're free on YouTube. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create your account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. On this loaded episode, we'll get our game predictions. I know it's pretty early in the week, but it's never too early to pick Miami versus Florida. We'll talk about the matchups, Hurricanes versus Gators. We'll get perspective from a three-time national champion at Miami, how good this team is compared to the teams of old. And just so you guys know, on the injury front for Florida, something that we learned on Monday is that Gators defensive lineman Caleb Banks, excellent player, had been dealing with injury, returned for the LSU game, re-injured. He's out. Caleb Banks is not going to play against Miami. And Miami head coach Mario Cristobal said it yesterday. JoJo Trader and Jordan Lyle are going to be back this week. So positive injury news on the Miami front, not so much on the Gator front. It's a Truth Teller Tuesday. And Bruce Warner has been the MVP of this show for the past few years. When we're having guys yesterday on like Lewis Oliver and Dwayne Starks, we've had the Bryant McKinneys and the Clinton Portises on the show. These are all good friends of Bruce going back a long ways, including our guest who's about to join us today. So when it comes to bringing the guests and bringing that pain, Bruce Warner, the Truth Teller, has been in rare form lately. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I mean, we're 3-0. Can't complain. I mean, I can complain about our guest, but I won't because he. So everybody wanted him from last month after he was on. So I'm bringing Kelvin back on. So Kelvin Harris, welcome to the show, my buddy. How you doing?
All right, Bruce. It's good to see you got your teeth in. That's good to see.
Thank you. So you talked about the injuries. What?
You got a fresh diaper too?
You're going to start?
I can't help myself.
All I know is when I'm around you and the other guys, you're getting picked on constantly.
Wow.
So if that makes Bruce feel better about his teeth, I mean, hey.
Yeah,
no, but wait a minute.
Let me ask you this. So we originally looked at the schedule because I know you're Mr. Undefeated, and we saw USF as a trap game. It didn't turn out that way. So my question for you is this a trap game? Because apparently Florida is not as great as we thought they were going to be.
We're going to put 40 on their ass.
That doesn't mean it's not a trap game. We got FSU next in 2 weeks.
It's not. I'm going to tell you why it's not a trap game. It's Florida. It's my homeboys at Florida. Yeah, they suck, but he ain't going to admit they suck. He going to, he got a safe face. Oh, y'all ain't that good. Because let's just be honest. They've only given up one touchdown on defense. All
two,
year
but
long.
yeah, still, yeah.
But who have they played?
Well, they
LSU
does not have an explosive offense. I don't care. The quarterback is dangerous, but that's not
Listen, LSU
right.
is probably my bet to win the SEC.
Really?
I didn't think they were that impressive. I think this.
No one is. Listen, let me say this: the only teams in America that have been impressive have been us and maybe Penn State.
Penn State's played nobody either.
Exactly.
Ohio State was good against Texas. Their defense really made them look bad. But
Ohio
again,
State's
Texas now.
Ohio State's defense is decent. They basically struggled against I'm not going to say struggle, but come on, you beat Ohio University 37-14. That's a red flag.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oregon should have blown out Who they play this week?
Oh gosh, and I watched some of that game. I can't remember who they
I don't
played. But
remember
yeah,
either.
it was,
And when you were watching the game, you know what you were saying, Alex? Why are they still in this game?
yeah.
All right. Well,
It was,
anyway,
no, it's
let's
Northwestern.
let's go
Northwestern.
to
They just
Florida.
Northwestern.
yeah.
Well,
Come on.
right at
A,
Northwestern.
bu- a bunch
Let's
of
get to
nerdy,
Miami and
a,
Florida, though, Kelvin.
a bunch of nerdy doctors. Come on. Now,
Well,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
before
say
I want you to take Kelvin on Miami, because just so people know, Kelvin Harris, who's with us, won 3 national championships at the U. And so you know what a championship caliber team is supposed to look like. What are you seeing from this group?
if we don't win the national championship, I'm gonna be upset. This team checks all the boxes. So here's the problem. Now, let me break this down to you. If you give us the ball first and we score a touchdown, we've immediately put pressure on you because now you have to score, because the next time you get the ball, the first quarter is going to be over, because we're not going to probably score in 2 plays like you did when I was there. When I was there, we would put up 21 points in like 2 minutes. I mean, it'd be 2, 3, 4 play drive. This team basically takes a paring knife and they just stab you repeatedly, and you just bleed out, because they're going to run the ball. They're going to throw the quick check down. They're going to throw in the middle. They're going to run the ball some more. And then if you get, a little antsy and get up, then they throw the ball over your head. But this team is not trying to go deep and hit big plays. They're trying to destroy your rib cage, crush your liver, ruin your kidneys. And by the fourth quarter, you're coughing up blood, you're dizzy, and you're tapping out. I mean, all right, let's go over it. 6'9", 340, 6'6", 325, 6'2", 300, 6'6", 350, 6'6", 335.
Kelvin, you made the comment about, we're not scoring quickly in 2 minutes. Look at the receiving core you had. You had the posse with you. That's a big difference between those guys and these guys. They're good now, but they're not that.
I don't think it's about that. I think it's more about the balance that this team has is why we're not scoring in 2 minutes.
Yeah,
I agree. I mean, we can, because, okay, like, for instance, they got that one little formation now where they put like every fat guy on the team on short yardage, and they just basically they it's abuse, to be honest with you, because it's coming and there's nothing you can do to stop it. And mentally that wears on teams, because I know they're going to try to run at me, but I'm going to brace up and I'm going to stop it. And then you get Peter rolled, and then it happens 3, 4 times. And by the time you get to the late third quarter, early fourth quarter, your will is broken. And that's what this team does. And if you're telling me Caleb Banks is not playing, they're going to run the ball down Florida's throat.
They should. You take advantage of the weakness. That's going to be a weakness. I mean, he's not there. He's good.
Now, one of the things, I don't know how much you guys have watched Florida. They have 2 athletic linebackers, Ernest Graham Jr., and I forget the other kid's name. They're not like Popo. Popo is a big, physical, I want to run into you type linebacker. Ernest Graham's son he's an athletic kid. He was a really good running back as well. He side to side guys. They're more like Wesley Bassett. The problem is we're coming downhill. And if you get off the block, there's a 230-pound running back running at you. And then let's go to the other side. So if you fall behind, there's 2 monsters coming off each end that nobody in the country can block. I mean, you have to, like, have we been behind yet?
I don't think so.
We were tied. Notre Dame tied us.
Notre Dame, we were tied. I don't think we've been behind.
I mean, look, at some point this year, we're going to trail.
Yeah.
And that's when we're going to find out our true intestinal fortitude. I just don't know when it's going to happen. And I don't, maybe Florida State. Maybe. This is a really good team. And comparing it to the other teams, oh, man. Nothing. this team is different than the 2001, 2002 team, and that it just wants to. It's like a ball peen hammer just blasting you upside the head. And if you get complacent, they can go over the top. And then, Malachi is not Restrepo. They're similar, but it's different. He's not a 4-3 guy, but he's a little bit more twitchier than Restrepo. But he's got some explosion. He's just not a 4-3 guy.
Yeah.
And Josh Moore, and now that JoJo's back, oh my gosh.
Well, I want to get more into that. Hold on. I want to get more into that, guys, when we come back, because again, like I know we said it last week and it didn't happen, even though Jordan Lyle was ready to play, but Cristobal said he didn't get enough reps during the week. And like JoJo Trader was this close. They're both going to be back this week. So I want to talk about what that means. And I want to take a look at what the Gators can try to do offensively, which has been the area they've struggled this year. You want to keep it locked right here. We got KELVIN Harris. We got Bruce Warner with us on this brand new episode of Locked On Canes. You want to keep it locked. Guys, I've been having a blast. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right means cashing in. With football back, Prize Picks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes all in less than 60 seconds. I've been playing Prize Picks since 2021. I love picking more or less. Lately, I've been picking less on a lot of Miami Dolphins players, and it's been paying out for me. It's quick, it's easy, and honestly, my favorite way to follow along with football. And the best part, even if one of your picks misses, Prize Picks invented the flex play, so you can still double your money. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONCollege for $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 play. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Thank you for making Locked On Canes your first listen. For your next listen, make sure you check out Locked On ACC. Kenton Gibbs and I, in our most recent episode, we talked about Brent Pry getting fired from Virginia Tech, and rightfully so. That team is bad. They're 0-3. Clemson goes down to Georgia Tech, how the ACC championship picture looks now and where Miami fits into that. Locked On ACC is available free wherever you get your podcasts and available free on YouTube. We're joined here by the truth teller, Bruce Warner, and KELVIN Harris is with us. All right, so KELVIN, we talked about no Caleb Banks on the Gators defense, on their defensive line. For Miami, we're expecting Jordan Lyle fully back this week against Florida. We're expecting JoJo Trader back. I think the question is maybe start with Trader because we've had so many other receivers like stand up and make plays, like Josh Moore and Keelan Marion both broke out last week. I mean, what can this receiver core do with JoJo back into it? And how many reps do you think JoJo's going to get?
Well, I think they'll probably ease him back in this week.
Yeah.
But in 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to see why him and Jeremiah Smith were the best high school receiving duo I've ever seen in my life. He is you saw it in the bowl game. He's got the explosiveness, and he's got a great pair of hands. He's a good kid, great work ethic. He literally has been playing hurt since the end of his senior year, and so they've been trying to get him fully healthy. And I think he's getting to that point now. But when he's healthy, he is going to be a problem. I mean, him and Malachi together with Josh Moore. Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty
CJ
dangerous.
Daniels. I mean,
I'm gonna tell you something. CJ Daniels has made one of the greatest business decisions in college football. He could end up being a first-round draft pick if he keeps this up. Because right now, Jordan Tyson is probably the top receiver in the country for the draft. And he's outproduced Jordan Tyson.
He's going to have to run fast at those combines, though. He can't run no 4.6 40s. He's got to be in the 4.5s.
Yeah. But
let me ask you this: we're I want to talk about this for a second. On the outside looking in, what do you see from the Gators? Look at them and give us your analysis of what's going on with them. We had Lewis Oliver on yesterday. He was just not happy with a lot of stuff. And Lagway, he says he's just an average quarterback. I mean, we had all this hype. He comes here after throwing 5 picks. If we don't let him get off to a hot start, he may just pack it in, that kid. He's got to be having problems. But what do you think of the Gators so far?
Well, I'm going to try and be Nostradamus here. They're going to fire Billy Napier. The offensive coordinator will become the interim head coach. They're going to use the week they have off, and they're going to throw the kitchen sink at Texas. That's their last stand. If that doesn't work, if Arch Manning gets out of this funk that he's in and he plays a halfway decent game and Texas beats him, at that point, you're going to see them either try and go get Lane Kiffin or Dion.
Because they're saying they're going to go after what's the Oregon coach, and I don't see a way in the world he would go to Gainesville from Oregon.
Dan Lanning is not leaving Oregon.
Of course not. He's got the coach job.
Well, listen, I'm going to say this: the University of Florida has money, Miami has money, SMU has money, the Texas schools have money, Oregon has as much money as any of them. And Phil Knight is an old, decrepit guy who wants to win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
So he is going to lay all of his funds out to keep Dan Lanning.
Mm-hmm. Especially after losing Mario.
But if you're Dan Lanning, why would you want to leave the Pac or the Big Ten where it's you, Penn State, and Ohio State, and possibly Michigan. That's it.
Every year.
Yeah.
And you don't play all of them every year. The Florida people, all my Florida friends, this is going to be like a wake. It's a repass. They really want us to just blow them out so they can get rid of this guy. But they've already started. They've already started the process. They got the money ready, and if we could just put the nail in the coffin, I wouldn't even be surprised if they don't fire him either late Saturday night or early Sunday morning.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to cry about that. That's fine.
No.
But you're the football team right this second as they get ready to play Miami this Saturday. What's your assessment of what's going on in Gainesville? Does he have control of this team? Are there leaders on the team? I don't know if they listen to him. I don't know if they really trust the quarter Lagway as the leader.
I don't know about I can't speak on the leadership. I know from talking to the alumni and former players, there's a lot of frustration because one of the things Billy Napier didn't do is he didn't ingratiate himself to the Spurrier and the Urban Meyer championship group of players. It's like he was trying to buck the system. I don't know.
Yeah, Kelvin Lewis Oliver, who's a Florida legend, was telling us yesterday, he envies all these Miami guys, the Michael Irvins and the Ray Lewises who get on the sideline. He says when he gets invited to Gator games, they put him in the nosebleeds.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. We are the model. I've got Corey Simon from Florida State. He's been quizzing me about the suite. Because for those of you who don't know, Alex is at the games. He's in the press box. They have a press box row for the reporters. So what the University of Miami has done is we have the end zone East Gate suite.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no other athletes other than former football players and whatever guests they have. And it's a fraternity. That's how
I get in. That's how Mark gets me in, right?
Yeah. You're Mark's guest. And it's like a family reunion every home game. And it's the food could be better, but to be honest with you, About 4 years ago, me and Ron McNeil tried to see if we could work out something with the food, and we got the prices. And I'm like, okay, I see why we just have chips and dip, because Hard Rock is, man, I would hate to have to be like, if you're sitting in a seat paying for food, Jesus,
It's
a burger.
expensive. But you guys have the tailgate and there's food there. It's not
Exactly. So
Right.
Randy,
I've
and
seen
then
you
there's
wolfing down the chicken. I've seen it.
and burgers too. Well, that's
And
the other thing. For the people who don't know, Alex, Randy Bethel, Dale Dawkins, and Kenny Holmes, now the three of the Vero Beach guys. Randy's been doing it for about 6 years, but now Dale Dawkins and Kenny Holmes have come in, and they help. And so we pay like $20. You get a unlimited plate, drinks. Now he's also gotten to the point now where he's got sponsorship for it, so it's becoming a big thing. And we get 150, 200 people for the pregame tailgate. It's the U alumni. So we have a model that other school, and to your point about the nosebleeds, my high school quarterback went to Ohio State. When they go to their games, they sit in the stands, and it's not in the greatest area either. Florida State. Now Florida State, they have a booth, but it's not just for football players. It's all lettermen. So you're in there with swimmers, whoever wants to come to the game. But what we have is the standard. Nobody can touch it. People can try to emulate it, but it's us. And I think that's one of the things that makes this whole UDM thing so special.
Well, when we come back, I want to get predictions from Kelvin, predictions from Bruce. I'll give my prediction for this coming Saturday in prime time. College game day is going to be in Coral Gables, 7:30 p.m. You want to keep it locked right here. We're not done yet on this brand new episode of Locked On Canes. Guys, we are proudly brought to you by Game Time. College football is back. We're all so pumped. The tailgates, the rivalries, the energies in the stands. There's nothing like it. But let's be real. Actually getting tickets can feel like more of a battle than the game itself. Endless queues, hidden fees, prices jumping at checkout. That's why I use Game Time, the app that gives the advantage back to the fans. It's the easiest way to score last-minute tickets at the best prices with no surprise fees. What you see is what you get on Game Time. I'm looking at tickets starting at $174 right now, which is, I think, the best deal you're going to find anywhere for the Florida Gators at the Miami Hurricanes. So from $174 and up, we'll watch those prices during the week. They'll probably go down even the closer that we get to kickoff. Guys, honestly, Game Time is faster, cheaper, and less stressful than any other way I bought tickets. So take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create your account, and use code Locked On College for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code Locked On College for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. Thank you for making Locked On Canes your first listen. Another big moment for the Locked On Network. College football fans, Locked On and Fire TV present College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation alongside two-time AP Coach of the Year Gary Patterson, former college star Jesse Holley, and Locked On's local experts. A college football preview only Locked On can do. Catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season, only available on Fire TV. All right, Kelvin, I'd love to know your prediction for this Saturday, especially, with Florida's offensive struggles. Their defense can play. And Shannon Dawson, Miami's OC, mentioned on Monday that you watch their defensive film, they don't look like a 1-2 team. The offense has been the big issue. What happens this weekend? Does Miami win, and by how much?
I just have a quick question, Kelvin, before you go into that. It's part of you answering this. Wouldn't you agree that Napier, after the 5 picks that Lagway threw, is going to try to get him into a rhythm early, throw short, quick screens, slants, tight end curls, things like that? They're not going to go throwing 40-yard passes or bombs. I would think they want to try to get him running the ball and getting him in a rhythm throwing the ball.
That's the game plan for against us every week. Because here's the problem: the right tackles for Florida are are either point shaving or they're that bad. So if
I would
if
say
if
point shaving, but okay.
if you got to go 5 and 7 step drop with Lagway, he's not going to finish the ball game because Messidor and Bain are going. Those tackles, their tackles can't block our defensive ends. And I told D. Lou after the Notre Dame game, for the rest of the year, it's going to be bubble screens, quick hitches, draws, and runs. Nobody is going to go 7-step drop against you guys. And if they are, they're stupid. And you saw what happened when South Florida tried to do it.
Mm-hmm.
He got destroyed. So Lagway, if I'm not mistaken, he's a little nicked up.
He is a little
Yeah.
two
Okay,
off-season injuries.
so they're going to come out. If it were me, I would open up the ball game by either throwing out to the perimeter to Vernell Brown on some kind of bubble screen. And the one thing I think we have to watch for is they're going to get Jaden Ball the ball on the perimeter. I think they're going to do that by throwing him the ball in the flats.
Yeah.
That's about the only way. And then at some point, they got to take a shot down the field, but they've got to soften it up to where we don't come with the full pass rush. So they've got to disguise it. But to be honest with you, if we're going score prediction, because we're such a methodical team, I say 31-10.
What were you going to say? 31-20?
No, 30. I was going to say 31-13,
Okay.
but I don't know if they 31-10. Yeah.
Okay.
What about you, Bruce?
Yeah, maybe 34-17 or 34-16, maybe 13. Yeah, somewhere around there. They may get 3 field goals and a touchdown. I don't know if they're going to get 2 touchdowns, but they're going to be in the teens, and Miami should be in the 30s. There's no reason for them to hold us under 30. I don't see how. Especially if they're behind. They got to throw the ball then if they're behind. And that plays
Yes.
right into our hands.
Yeah.
And right now, DJ Lagway has Ray Charles's eyes. So he is.
Oh, he had a transplant?
I think he might be colorblind. I mean, he doesn't seem to he throws
Oh
at
my-
guys just the wrong jerseys half the time.
But did you see those interceptions? It's like,
Yeah.
to your point, he has to be colorblind because it's not like, the guys have to make an outstanding play. It's like, hey, I'm right here. They're in a disarray right now. Their whole program. And I just think it's a matter of time before Billy has to walk the plank. But the thing about it is, if the season continues to downslide for them, it could be 4 or 5 years before they get back up because they're going to lose recruits.
Yes, they are.
And
probably portal guys too. They're not going to be able to get.
Oh man,
what's the upside to go there?
I didn't even think about that. That's the other thing. So you got to think about something. They're in a bad situation. If they fire him, which I think they are, I think they're going to fire him after this game. And unless they play really well and they make a determination around week 9 that we're going to keep whoever the coach is right now as the coach so that we can try and save the recruiting class, they could be in for about 2 or 3 really bad years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I agree.
No doubt.
I agree. I think we're
not
going to win
that
this game.
not that I'm upset.
Well, yeah, if they start losing recruits, then it's going to be Miami and Florida State are going to be the biggest beneficiaries there because
and maybe USF, maybe USF.
Well, right now, who is popping bottles like he won the championship is the ACC commissioner, because the Miami-Florida State game, if both of us stay on the path we're on, it's going to be huge.
Mm-hmm.
College game, they might go to that one too.
I would expect they would. And we're going to roll them just like we're going to roll Florida.
You think so?
Well,
their quarterback is everything. If they could stop him, they're not going to have much success. He's really the key. He's that good.
We've already beaten that guy. So, hey.
True, at Boston College. Well, I'll elaborate more on my prediction throughout the week, but I know people have been getting on me because my predictions have been too conservative so far this year, and Miami is taking care of business. I'm going 42-16 Miami.
Ooh, wow.
41-17 last year. I'm going 42-16 in 2025, my
Okay.
friends. We'll leave
Well,
it at that. Go ahead, Kelvin, if you got a comment.
the only reason why I'm not saying we're going to score 40 points is because I don't expect them to let us get big plays on them. And we're not at this particular mindset of a team. Dawson is just taking what you give us
Yeah.
and we run the clock down. And I'm not saying that we can't score 40 points. I'm just saying that unless they blow some coverages
Or
or
interceptions for
inter-
touchdowns.
I will say this with Jordan Lyle back, I
Yeah.
expect an explosive play run.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or a pass to him in the flat if they're coming
Oh,
after Beck,
Yeah.
and he could take it to the house. He's that
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
well, look, I'm going to say this. If we get through Florida State undefeated, our mindset needs to change to championship countdown. Because at that point, I don't want to disrespect the rest of the ACC. Nothing's left.
Right.
And if you're the
Don't let
commissioner,
Mario hear that though, because he doesn't want to talk like
That's
that.
rat
him.
poison.
He
hey,
doesn't.
listen, he texted me yesterday 1-0. Go Canes.
Yeah. He just wants to go 1-0, wants to win the week. That's the
Oh.
mindset.
Well, that's because I texted him 16-0 with
I knew
6
it.
exclamations.
I
I
knew
knew
it.
you were going to say that.
Hey, Nick Saban predicts Miami to play for the national championship. You saw that.
But
He's that high on him.
well,
Yeah.
listen, we have to be honest, start being honest with ourselves. Yeah, we all have PTSD from years past, but
Yeah.
your eyes are telling you we're the best team in the country. And Nick Saban doesn't just give out compliments. I mean, when you watch our football team, it checks all the boxes of a national championship team.
Yep.
Well,
And if
we'll leave it at that because you're getting me too excited, and we need to save more of this for a future episode.
all right,
We
all right,
appreciate
thanks,
all of you.
Alex.
All right, take
Thanks
care.
to Kelvin Harris. Thanks to Bruce Warner. I am Alex Donno. Huge shout out to the everydayers. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe. We'll talk to you again. We're going to have an episode with Brian Smith, the recruiting overlord, and talk a little bit about the possible collision course between Miami and Florida State. Maybe not only in a few weeks, but for the ACC championship as well. We're going to talk with Jacoby Thomas, Miami Hurricanes safety, later on in the week. We'll talk to you next time on another episode of Locked On Canes. We are part of the awesome Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.